Hello.
Hello, Ben. And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Yes. Not Discord because they failed and we were waiting for about half an hour. Um,
20. Yeah, it was actually, wasn't
yeah.
it? Yeah. It's a good
Well,
job that we were between videos when it happened. I
it
just want to
was,
say,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, if I'd done that extra bit in Wolfenstein,
Yeah.
we'd have had a problem.
So we're playing Destroy All Humans 2, which is the sequel to that game we played called Destroy All Humans, believe it or not.
Don't you mean destroy all humans as well?
Yeah. What? Oh. Well, yes,
English.
I've got to start a new game, you see, because I've finished it.
Fair enough.
There's no
Before
subtitles, which is annoying, but hey ho, go on.
before we get into anything too serious,
Yeah.
I just want to say I want to go back to the predictions that we did last week.
Yes.
One of my predictions was plane crash.
Yeah.
In the time between the last video that we recorded, literally half an hour ago, and this one, I've had a BBC News alert about a helicopter crash into the Hudson River.
Doesn't count.
So, but I'm just saying it was a bloody good.
Oh, come on. That's it.
I should get a point for every
There's like
one, and
a
there was like five.
plane crash every week somewhere in the world. There's so many flights. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, you went. You know,
Mm,
I just. Right,
mm.
so let's do the heavy topic, shall we?
Well, okay. Well, yeah. Go on.
Formula One.
I might as well
In
say now
Japan.
that the gist of this cutscene is that the Russians have figured out that we're president and we've got genitals now, and they're going to
Lovely.
blow up the mothership.
What, the Russians?
Yeah. Go on.
Those rescue sods. Formula One happened at the weekend, and oh my god, there were so many red flags. Can you remember what a red flag is in Formula One, Ben?
When they do a bad thing.
No, red flag is when they have to stop a race because of some sort of safety concern.
All right.
What do you think the primary cause of red flags during this last weekend's races were?
Where was it?
Japan.
Godzilla.
So it's a week. It's a week. It was last weekend, a week ago. As at time of recording, it was this most recent race.
A bird got on the line.
This is something that happened 5 times over the course of a weekend.
Some sort of crash.
Fires.
All right.
There were times where the grass
Yeah.
on the really dry grass, because it's a dry season,
Yeah.
um, was getting ignited by sparks from underneath the cars,
Oh no.
and so they kept catching fire, and that was not overly helpful for people.
Uh,
Um, During the course of the weekend, we also experienced a new track record.
yeah.
The fastest anyone has ever gone round that track
Yeah.
happened this weekend,
Yeah.
and it happened 3 times this weekend.
Oh.
3 separate people beat the previous record. The record holder now is Max Verstappen, who took it
Lovely.
from I think it was Sebastian Vettel in
Uh,
2019. And the time that they've gone round the track is 1 minute 26 seconds 0.983,
yeah.
which is impressive. The second fastest was 12 thousandths of a second slower,
Yeah.
and the third fastest was 44 thousandths of a second slower. So they're
Right.
pretty fucking close times in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get much tighter without being on the dot. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is imperceptible to the human.
Well, it's a good thing we've got them fancy computers, isn't it? You like Formula One?
So you cut out for me, and I had a panic with Discord not playing up again.
Well, that's sort of what happened for me, but vice versa. Do you like Formula One?
I do, yes.
Well, I'm glad.
It's quite important to me as a entertainment.
Good.
Also, very briefly, there was one last important thing to talk about with Formula One,
Yeah.
and that's that we were talking last week about the Lawson Sonoda situation. I don't know how much you remember about that.
Bugger all.
Yeah, so what they did is they replaced Liam Lawson with Yuki Tsunoda in the Red Bull seat,
Yeah.
and so therefore we needed Tsunoda to do better than Lawson. to justify him being in the seat and the change having happened.
Mm.
Qualifying, Lawson got 14th, Tsunoda got 15th.
Yeah.
And then they both went up one because someone got a penalty.
Right.
Carlos Sainz. End of the race, Lawson was 17th, Tsunoda was 12th. So he did outperform him.
Well, that's good.
Hooray!
Well done.
Hooray for Tsunoda. It's just a shame he didn't do better at his home race.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Yeah, you'd hope. I mean, all your fans are there. You know.
Well, you know, it would have been a wonderful thing for him to be.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. It's just the way it is sometimes.
Yeah. Hey ho. Hey ho.
Hey.
Well, I'm glad you like Formula One. I'm sorry I can't get into it as much as you do, but hey ho. We have different interests.
Yeah. There's another race this weekend in Bahrain, I think it is. It means that until November, there's no nighttime races. Or rather, until November, I don't have to get up stupidly early in the morning or stay up stupidly late to watch them. So that'll be nice. The joys of being a European fan.
Yeah.
I do feel a little bad for those in Asia and...
Yeah. So where in the world do you think we are?
I was going to guess San Francisco.
Yeah, or Bay City as this game calls it. You fucking mind?
Use your mind powers on him.
Somebody's shooting me and I don't like it.
There's been a bit of a gossip thing going on.
Oh, I love a bit of goss.
I don't know if you've heard this gossip, but it seems that Michelle Obama has felt the need to defend her
yes, that's
marriage.
right. Yeah.
Some people seem to be of the opinion that they were getting divorced.
Yes, because she wasn't at the inauguration and she wasn't at Jimmy Carter's funeral.
Yes. Have you heard what her response?
Like she's a woman in her own right. She wants to do her own thing. Instead, this is our God, and he wants us to shap him with electricity. Yeah, she said. Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and all credit to her.
Yeah. It's, completely reasonable. I mean, the president hasn't been divorced since Reagan. He was divorced before he came into office. I'm not entirely sure any president's gotten divorced after they left office. There would be.
I'm not very aware of such things.
Yeah. Do you like one of my topics?
Yep.
Okie dokie. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I do feel bad I'm not interested in Formula One, you know.
Yeah, I didn't have a massive amount to say about it this week.
That's right.
It was a very boring race. Of the top 8 drivers, only one position changed. So,
I have 3 topics left. So, we mentioned a Monopoly movie last time.
I think so.
I don't really know whether it is a movie or whether they're just doing the reality show, which I've heard about, which sounds kind of interesting for Netflix. I'm sort of fine with that. And that's the end of that topic. They're making a Universal theme park here. It's going to have James Bond rides and things like that. No Harry Potter rides.
Paddington.
Yes.
Paddington, apparently.
Yes. No Harry Potter rides because it's like right next to the Harry Potter experience thing. But it's sort of my question would be, if you made a theme park, what would it be?
What would it be? I don't really know. Do you know what you would?
Well, given that I came up with the question, you'd think I probably do know.
Yeah, I'd like to think you'd probably give it a bit of thought in the however long it's been for you to come up with a question. I'm assuming between videos.
No, I came up with that. Came up with that earlier today.
Okay.
That'd be a decent bit of time. I haven't given it any thought, truth be told.
Well, more for you.
Um,
Accounting world.
oh God.
As I'm not an accountant, I don't really know what you'd have there, but that's what it would be. That would be the overall theme. You'd have some people do some charting.
Yes. You'd have
And
the Excel experience, when you.
Excelsior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, you fuck off.
I feel like I could probably make a decent like Star Wars themed, or perhaps decent Voyager themed.
Oh yes.
Theme park. But more on that later.
I would make a. I really like James Bond, but I really like Frasier too. So maybe I do a Frasier theme park where you go on.
Okay, but only if you never ever reveal what's a face's face.
Maris, yeah.
That's the one.
Do, 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 do,
Some people call her Maris, but she speaks with a purpose of love.
What?
Space Cowboy by
Oh,
it's not Space Cowboy. It's for Joker, isn't it? By Steve Miliband. The lesser known Miliband brother.
Yes. Yes.
Shall we go on to Voyager then?
Yeah, go on.
I finished it.
Yay! What do you think?
Well, I feel like they missed the ending.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like the ending sort of shouldn't have ended where it did.
You need a scene when they get back home and they're welcomed by a massive crowd of people and they meet families and Paris introduces his dad to Brianna. Balana, whatever. And
their new daughter that's just been born.
Yes, and Janeway gives a speech. You know.
To the journey.
Yes. But no, it just sort of ends as they approach Earth, and it's like, oh, okay, we sort
it's
of
very anticlimactic ending, isn't it?
We sort of never really see them get home.
Yeah, technically speaking, yeah.
I mean, Voyager could have been fucking brilliant, and I don't think it is. It never gets there.
In fact, they're not even really that close to home. Because
No.
given the invariable nature of the way they handle speed in Star Trek has always been inconsistent. But they do say that they're a light year from Earth. So it's still a bit of a way to go. It's still a day or so, surely.
Well, I guess.
But no, it was a very anticlimactic ending. I thought I was a little bit disappointed by the ending. In fact, there was an episode towards the end that made me cry.
Was it the one where they say goodbye to Neelix?
It is the one where they say goodbye to Neelix.
That made me cry too.
I don't know why.
They all line the corridor and give him a proper farewell.
It's just such a much better ending.
Yes.
To someone's time in the.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so shall we go through the episodes?
Yeah, go on.
I almost couldn't remember which one it was that I'd watched. Like, started watching from. But then I remembered that I sent you a picture of we have Janeway and Tuvok at home.
Yes.
With the knockoff Janeway and Tuvok, literally right after we finished recording.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. Live fast and prosper. So you got people pretending to be them.
Yeah.
Reasonable enough episode, nothing too special, but you know.
Don't remember it.
Interesting. It was an interesting look at how the Voyager mythos has been used to, well, trick people. There's a reputation there that has been manipulated in an attempt to benefit a smaller group. Which is nice. The next one, Muse, in which Balana is stranded on a Bronze Age planet. And she helps a playwright adapt the story of Voyager to the stage, whilst Ensign Kim is missing in an escape pod.
Right.
Nothing special there.
Vaguely
fell asleep during that one.
Vaguely remember that. That sounds like one of those things where they automatically generate Star Trek episodes with an A plot and a B plot. That sort of sounds like that.
I dozed off during the episode.
Yeah.
I think I missed about 20 minutes in the middle.
Well, then you haven't seen all the Voyager, have you?
Shut up. You wouldn't have watched that one anyway, in retrospect, because it's a B'Elanna episode.
I don't like B'Elanna. I did watch it, but yeah, go on.
Like, I was drifting in and out.
Yeah.
Fury, a much older and more powerful Kess returns to Voyager and
Oh,
attempts
yeah.
their history.
Yes.
I do feel a little disappointed that Neelix isn't one to fix that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, but she sort of had a good relationship with Janeway. I like that premise that they let her. She she advanced to a new form or whatever you call it. You know, she ascended to a higher plane of existence, and they were all for it and supported her. And it's like, no, she had no idea what the fuck she was doing. She was basically a kid, and she realized she didn't like it very much. It's like,
has held a grudge ever since.
I need to be inside the tippy chick.
All right, Charles Manson. Next up, Lifeline. The Doctor's creator, Louis Zimmerman, is dying in the Alpha Quadrant from a disease similar to the Vidian phage.
Yes.
The Doctor's compressed matrix is transferred to Zimmerman's lab on the Jupiter station to assist Mr. Barclay and Councillor Troy in attempting to treat the illness. Now, you quite like the Doctor episodes.
Yes, I do, and I like Zimmerman because he's an arsehole.
Yeah, I mean, it works well as an episode.
Yeah.
You got the Haunting of Deck 12. As Voyager travels through a nebula, all ship's power is turned off, giving Neelix an opportunity to tell the Borg children a ghost story.
Yeah.
The implication being at the end of the episode that the ghost story was in fact true. Which is an interesting play.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not an overly special episode.
No, nothing special. It's a pretty basic idea.
Unimatrix Zero, a two-parter, where we find out about a sort of Borg shared dream state in which they are individuals.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a weird two-parter. I don't like the way they do their two-parters at the start and end of a series, to be honest with you.
Well, that's the fault of Best of Both Worlds from TNG, where Picard gets turned into a Borg. That was the last scene of that series. Was I am Locutus of Borg, and Riker ordered the ship to fire.
Because there was talk of maybe writing it out, wasn't there?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a big risk because Kirk was so popular, and then you had this bold diplomat guy. And Riker, it's been theorized, was like a backup. If Picard didn't work, we can switch to Riker. It could well have been that Riker was the captain. In fact, there's an episode of TNG where it's like a parallel universe thing, and at the end, all these parallel universes sort of merge. And Picard's the captain for like almost all of them, but one of them, two of them have Riker as the captain, and one of them, the Borg, have gone haywire, and he's having like a mental breakdown. It's like, we cannot go back there. And the other one, there's a great little moment where he looks at Picard. And he's like, may I just say it's nice seeing you again, sir. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess they didn't figure out Best of Both Worlds completely. As he died. Yeah. Go on.
No. I'm just thinking about the dishevelled Riker. I've seen that.
Yeah.
He's only
yes.
practically pleading, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's gone. That's it. No more.
I think they have to fight him, don't they? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah. They blow him up or something.
Yeah, because he's like, I would write. Yeah, which makes sense.
The next one, Imperfection. When her cortical implant malfunctions, 7 of 9 needs a life-saving transplant. She gets that from Icheb, who basically tries to kill himself.
Yeah.
Effectively. Drive. The crew of Voyager enters for Delta Fly in a sub-warp race crewed by Tom Paris and Bernard Torres. And events conspire to encourage Tom to propose.
That's a perfectly fine episode.
Yeah. Repression. Ex-Marquee crew members are attacked after a data stream arrives from Starfleet.
Okay.
This is where a message with some subliminal messaging in has got through to a member of the crew who shall remain nameless unless you can remember who it was. And that person has gone around and started attacking, putting them in comas.
Is it B'Elanna?
Nope.
Who?
It was Tuvok.
Ah.
And I knew it was Tuvok.
Yeah.
I don't know why I knew it was Tuvok, but I knew it was Tuvok about 20 minutes before the reveal that it was Tuvok. So, I don't know. It's like Murder, She Wrote, only in space. Critical care. The doctor's program is stolen and he is forced to work in an alien hospital where he skillfully manipulates the system to provide ethical medical care.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the political episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clean snatch. Hippie chick, I doubt it.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to be having a lot of clean snatches, I hope.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's quite important, isn't it?
You just have to use free love and then you get yourself a clean snatch. That's probably the joke. That's the first time I've realised that, to be honest. That's probably intentional.
Well, I'm pleased to have pointed out to you. Inside Man, a hologram of Reg Barclay is sent to Voyager, supposedly to implement a dangerous plan to bring him home, but the hologram has been tampered with by Ferengi, who are trying to steal valuable Borg nanoprobes from 7 of 9. Nice to see some more Ferengi, but they don't really do an awful lot in this one.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting species. I mean, they're a bit one-track mind.
They're a bit.
There's an interesting element to them, isn't there?
Well, I mean, TNG introduced them, but sort of didn't. I mean, DS9 obviously did the most with them. That's the Ferengi at their best, and the Grand Nagus and all the cultural stuff.
I saw a thing the other day where someone was talking about you know when Nog's got the flashback memories of, I think he's told his leg's gonna have to come off or something.
Yeah.
And he's the way the camera shifts and he's just this scared child again, and it's like, you know, it's just such a DS9 was such a well done series.
DS9 was fucking brilliant. That's such a great episode where it's basically just him hiding in the holodeck with the lounge singer guy, Vic Fontaine, and avoiding the word. The scene where he comes back and they've got like a little banner and they're like, "Congratulations" or whatever, for our hero, and he just sort of looks at it and shuffles off awkwardly. Right.
Very quickly, didn't he?
We need another clean snatch.
Oh no, that wasn't a clean snatch.
No.
Goddamn hippie. I was gonna say. No, never mind. Body and soul. During an emergency on a mission, the Doctor is forced to upload his program into 7 of 9's Borg implant, allowing him to experience real sensations for the first time, and he almost gets her laid. Although it's a very complicated consent situation there.
Yeah.
So let's not go into that.
Yeah.
Nightingale. Harry Kim takes command of an alien ship that has lost its officers in an attack.
Mm-hmm.
He finally becomes a captain for a while.
Yeah, closest he ever gets.
Not true.
Well, apart from that episode where he's the goo person, I guess. And maybe another one.
Or that, not the last episode where in the future, before Janeway comes back, he is the captain of a starship. Yeah. Nothing overly special about that one, I didn't think. Although one of the guys in it was one of the main characters, like one of the crew members from Firefly. So, or rather, one of the passengers technically, because of the way Firefly's story goes. But Flesh and Blood, two-parter. Voyager's hologram technology, which Janeway had previously donated to the Herodian, has been modified to make the holographic prey more cunning, enabling the hologram characters to rebel against their new masters.
That's an oversight.
Yeah, I can't remember much about that one.
No.
In retrospect.
Yeah.
Shattered. Voyager is fractured into several time periods by an accident, and only Chakotay is able to move between them.
Oh, joy!
In the process, meeting old friends and old foes from the previous 6 seasons.
Yeah.
We meet Seska again for a while.
Oh, her, yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was boring.
Yeah. Lineage. Now married to Tom, B'Elanna Torres discovers she's pregnant.
Oh,
Bum, bum,
yeah.
bum. And she's trying to sort out the DNA so it hasn't got Klingon DNA.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Because she's so resentful of her Klingon heritage, after all.
Yeah, which I guess makes a difference from Worf, who was very proud of it. Which I guess is something new, but where the fuck is this guy? I can't seem to find him.
Is that not the marker on the map?
That's the UFO.
Ah, okay.
His house is around here. I want to say that's it.
Ah, this was an interesting one. Repentance.
Yeah.
Prisoners are brought onto Voyager from a damaged alien vessel, and the crew must deliver them to their destination for execution.
Mm.
7 nanoprobes are used to help heal a prisoner.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that one?
No.
It had, if I can find his bloody name, I think it's Jeff Kober.
Mm.
Yeah, I recognised him underneath the makeup, and underneath the alien makeup.
What else has he been in?
I'm just trying to get to where I was going, and it clicked off. He was Joe in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He's in Sons of Anarchy. He was Kurt in Walker, Texas Ranger. He's been in General Hospital. Let me just go to the film. See if there's any reason I know you'd have seen. Don't necessarily know that you've seen any of it. Oh, he's in Sully.
Yeah.
For TV purposes, he's in an episode of The X-Files. I feel like it's one of those faces you'd recognise.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, of course, it was in Buffy. Yeah, I remember him from Buffy. Voyager, obviously. He was in Enterprise for one episode. Bit of time as CSI, Criminal Minds, 24. So anyway, point is, I recognised him. But the gist of that one is that he, it turns out, has got a genetic irregularity, and so he doesn't feel conscience.
Yeah.
He has no conscience until he's repaired by banana probes, and he goes from being a hardcore killer to being, well, an utterly repentant, non-violent individual. And he's sentenced to death, and they're trying to, the Voyager are like, feel obligated to try and get that sentence changed. Because circumstances have changed. He's literally no longer the same the man he was before, you know. Whilst Neelix is manipulated by a prisoner who used racially motivated situation. The idea that this particular race are maybe 10% of a population, but 80% of a prison population, or something silly like that.
Yeah.
And therefore, maybe his sentence was not so harsh. Shouldn't have been so harsh, but it was made harsh because of the fact that it's, you know, there's a racial component. And then he's a bad guy at the end of it. He screws Neelix over. So, you know, that's a mixed message, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like from a political standpoint there, if you're going to do that sort of thing, you have to have that guy be effectively the good guy throughout. And suffer for it, right? You still have to. He can't backstab someone, because that kind of justifies the dislike towards the marginalised group.
I mean, it sort of reminds me of the original series episode that's about racism, where it's aliens that like half their face is black and half their face is white, and then the other one it's black and white but the other sides.
Ah, yeah.
And
tell my wife I said hello.
I can't remember what it's called, but they hate each other, and their planet gets like nuked to shit. And they're like the last two members of their respective peoples are on the Enterprise, and at the end they beam down to the planet and continue their fight. And they're making a point about racial discrimination, but the issue is that they cast both sides as basically equally to blame. which I don't
When in
think.
reality, it's
Yeah,
in our real world existence, that's not the case. Is it?
it's yes. Where the fuck is this building? Is that it?
It's all the Dutch people's fault.
Yeah, the fuckers.
Next episode, Prophecy. Voyager encounters an ancient Klingon battlecruiser. The Klingons aboard it had set out long ago to find their savior, and they believe it to be Tom and B'Elanna's unborn child.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a load of Klingon lore, isn't it, again?
Yeah.
Nice to see some more Klingons. There's actually one part of this that I really quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that was somewhat early on in the episode. Harry Kim ends up attracting a Klingon female.
Yeah.
And in a bid to save him from this, Neelix pins him against the wall and, tells him off and attracts her instead.
Yeah.
Quite happily, because he wants to get it on.
Yeah.
And we see the aftermath of that, and he's trashed Tuvok's apartment, or his quarters really, but it's fucking. It really amused me.
Yes, I like the idea that Klingon lovemaking is like incredibly dangerous. There's a bit in DS9 where Worf and Dax do it in the holodeck, and they report to sickbay and like they've broken ribs. Like
yeah.
And the dog's like, "What were you doing?"
Part of our courting process is to bite the other one.
Yes, it's a very violent.
You know it's
aggressive.
You know it's going to be a. But
yes.
It could be fun.
Yeah. Not
when in Rome.
Well, yes. Would you have sex with a Klingon?
Probably.
If a Klingon was into it.
Yeah, I'd think so. Wouldn't you?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't like being beaten. Where is this house?
I didn't say I liked it, but I'm willing to give it a go. I'll try anything twice, Ben. Almost anything twice. Next one, The Void.
I love that one.
Somewhat similar to an episode to the game, in a way.
Yeah.
Voyager's pulled into a void with the ships that have become trapped, secretary of her food and resources.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever find out why it's happening.
It's
like
it's just a space anomaly.
Yeah, it's like
that's what it is.
But yeah, it's one of these try and get people to work together to solve the problem
yes,
thing.
They
some
build,
people do and some people don't.
They build a federation within the fuck's sake, within the void. And could you do me a favour?
I can try.
Could you Google where this house is?
What is it you're actually looking for?
The chap's name is Coyote Bongwater.
Coyote
Bong.
Bong
water. Yeah. Thank you.
Bongwater. Is it, you still just looking for this one bloke?
Yeah. I'm in the right place, but I can't narrow it down.
Apparently, it's one of the only enterable houses. Where is Coyote Bongwater? Apartment block on Hashbury Street.
I'm on Hashbury Street.
Oh, there's an apartment block somewhere. That doesn't look like an apartment block.
That looks like an apartment
block. That does.
No,
I swear, if you were right next to this fucking building the whole time.
Possibly. I feel like there's a bit like KGB outside.
Well, the trouble is, the way you've operated, you've probably killed all the fucking KGB.
Yeah. Whatever, I'll take you. I think you have to be a hippie chick to get in.
Bean snatch.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely.
You go on the street that you need to be on, because.
Well, which street would you say is Hashbury?
I would say that I'd say it's the horizontal street underneath the name. Personally. So this one that's coming up on your left is, I would say, the street.
Okay. Now, I should warn you, this game has been known to glitch a bit.
Oh, has it? What's that one down? Stop.
Which
When
one?
left? What's... Okay, stop. Turn right again. What is it possible it's the one at the end of the street? No. That big one there. Something about that. Oh no, it's stairs.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Workforce. The Voyager crew is brainwashed into taking new jobs on an industrialized planet via labor shortages.
Yeah.
We see the Doctor become the emergency command hologram again. Not something we see often. Part 2 of this was directed by Bilana.
I should say, The Void is one of my favourite Voyager episodes, and I sort of feel like the entire series should have been like that. Because it's them in a hostile environment, building alliances and doing Federation shit, which I like.
That's basically what the game is.
Yeah.
There's an alien cause behind it in the game, but they're in a section of space where they can't escape from it without doing space shit. You know? It's just... It's a good game, and every section of it, every mission in it is set up like an episode, so... You know. Human error. 7 practices her social skills on the holodeck. This is the one where she starts dating a version of Chakotay.
Yeah, I don't like that match. I don't like Chakotay. I think it's boring.
We've met him.
Yeah, we have.
Made him laugh.
He hated working on Voyager. I've heard that every season, he had his agent ask for a ridiculous amount of money in the hopes that the network would say no and end the contract. And they said yes every time.
Wow. I mean, that works both ways, doesn't it, really? Happy man. Q2.
That's the one where Q has a son, isn't it?
His son is left on Voyager to learn from the crew.
And he fucks about with the Borg.
Yeah, he does all sorts
and
of
Q's
things.
Like, we don't fucking antagonize the Borg.
Yeah. It was interesting to see. It was his actual son, wasn't it, as well?
John Delancey's
or nephew
son.
or something. Yeah, it's a relative of John Delancey.
Oh, right.
Let me find the... Double check the actual relation. Yes, Keegan Delancey is John Delancey's son and grandson.
What?
John Delancey is John Delancey Jr.
Oh, right.
And his dad is John Delancey Sr. Yeah, what an interesting circumstance that is.
I like John Delancey.
Yeah. Author.
Yeah, fucking author.
The Doctor writes a hollow novel to be published in the Alpha Quadrant, featuring characters who closely resemble but do not flatter.
I meant to call in the all clear by accidentally called him back up. Because the buttons are mapped differently on this. Yeah, go on.
I quite like what Tom does in this one. So the gist of the episode is that the Doctor's written this hologram.
Yeah.
It's a piece of fiction, but visually the characters are based on.
Yes.
And some of the circumstances are very similar to things that have happened.
Yes, it is sort of very clearly based on the Doctor's view of himself, and it pisses off the rest of the crew because they're presented in an unflattering light. And it turns, it turns into this whole episode about holographic rights.
Yeah, which they don't settle, but they do at least acknowledge that as he is a more complicated entity than your typical hologram, he is entitled to the rights to his own creative work.
Yes, it's the first step in a wider movement that's probably going to be referenced back in 50 years or whatever. And I love that in episodes of Star Trek where it advances the world a bit. And you get the impression this is the first step forward to holographic Right, and that's interesting to me, and it's funny too, and I like the Doctor. It's a great episode.
I like the fact that Tom does a thing where he basically rewrites the story himself and makes the Doctor a chauvinistic sex predator, if I recall. And the Doctor takes issue with that.
Yes.
And then it finally clicks that actually, yes, this could be a proper problem.
Yeah.
It's
a fucking great episode. I love it.
I do like the fact that this is the first time that they have reliable communications, like frequent reliable communications with Starfleet. So they had the once a month data stream thing that they
they get letters from home and things.
This one they're allowed 11 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they dish out 3-minute segments to all the crew, randomly allocated. And what ends up invariably happening in this case is the fact that so much of those people's time is going to have been taken up by the Doctor. Like, just sort of forget about that, don't I? Friendship 1, I thought was an interesting one.
Remind me.
Crew is sent on its first mission by Starfleet to find a lost probe sent by Earth in the 21st century that has ended up in the Delta Quadrant. This is a probe that has crash landed on a planet. The technology that was included in it was assimilated by the culture of the planet that it landed on, and it ultimately led them to destroy themselves. Antimatter, I think it is, got loose, and it caused untold damage to the planet. It's completely devastated. Radiation everywhere. They're all living horrible lives. There's this whole point about there's a woman who's pregnant, far along pregnant. Tom's there, obviously, with his kid on the way. And this woman is far along pregnant, and he's having a conversation with her about how many, about having kids in there, because he's got one on the way and she's got one on the way. Yeah. And she mentions that she's had three or four already, and he's really supportive, and then reveals that they were stillborn, and there's a whole tonal shift, which works. Like, it's a horrible fucking subject, right? But it's so in fitting with the situation. It really highlights the situation they're in. So that's. I thought it was interesting to see the side effects of what is effectively our modern day space efforts. Because it's 21st century now, Ben.
Yeah, it's a bit like how we bury nuclear waste.
Yeah,
and some future culture is going to find that shit, and boy, are they in for a surprise.
It's going to melt their faces.
Yeah.
But no, I liked that. I thought that was a good one. When Voyager, the actual Voyager probe, ends up crashing into something, as it undoubtedly will at some point.
Like that manhole cover.
Like that manhole cover. It's going to ruin someone's day at some point.
Yes.
Right. And it's perfectly reasonable for whoever it slams into, if they have some sort of connection to ongoing living relatives or culture or whatever, it's perfectly reasonable that they might be pissed with us.
Yes, there's probably a short story idea in that an alien culture shows up because the Voyager probe crash landed on their planet and was like their equivalent of 9/11.
Yeah, because of that sort of speed.
Yeah,
that's a thing. In Mass Effect, I think we talked about it before, because they do this with burials, don't they? So they fire these pods out into space.
Yeah.
Fucking, I've already had one episode in Voyager where one of these pods is recovered by an alien species, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But in Mass Effect, they talk about how the bullets, the missile bullet things that they fire out of the space gun, they have to make sure that they are aiming properly, because if they miss, that ain't going to stop. It is going to keep going because of the laws of dynamics, or the laws of motion. And they use the term, you're going to ruin someone's day at some point.
Yeah. I had a short story that sort of grew into a novel idea about, and it was about this sort of 1950s sci-fi type horror creature that had been sort of stitched together by this mad scientist woman. My idea that she had made it for profit, but it was too hard to handle, so she just went fuck it and fired it into space. and it didn't go well. Yeah.
Yeah, it could work.
I mean, I liked it as an idea. I just didn't have the passion to see it through. And you've got to really fucking be dedicated to something like that if you're going to write a book.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It's a long-term thing. Anyway, next Voyager.
There's only 4 left.
All right.
Natural law. While visiting the planet Lados, Seven and Chakotay crash through the energy barrier. Two are stranded in a jungle with primitive humanoids who take repair in and care for Chakotay's injuries. To rejoin, they have to disable the energy barrier. And it's basically isolated culture in the middle of a developed world, and the obvious capitalist intentions of anyone who can then get in there. Effectively, the B story, which I thought was a bit more interesting, was Tom has to learn how to fly because he was doing a maneuver that he shouldn't have been doing in airspace.
Oh well, yeah, he had to take his driving test essentially.
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah.
It's silly.
It's not, some good Voyager episodes. It's not my favorite Star Trek series, but there's shit to like.
Yeah, there is. I like it. Overall, I like it. I'm just disappointed with that literally the last minute of the show. I feel like it was all leading up to something bigger, and it didn't. It didn't pay off. But the 7 series didn't pay off to the.
No, that you need. I mean, there are a number of issues I have with Voyager, but among them, you definitely need that scene where they are home.
Yeah.
And I guess they just spent
maybe someone wistfully looking back, looking into space at the end of it.
You have as I say, you have the scene when they arrive on Earth and there's a big parade there to meet them, and you have characters meeting their families and introductions and shit. And Tuvok gets together with his wife again, and
Parrot even smiles.
Yes, Parrot's dad meets his grandkid and Paris again, and Janeway gives a speech, and then you have a scene where they're all on the stage, and that's when it cuts.
Yeah.
Because this is like a huge. I mean, this is a big deal. I don't think any ship in any Star Trek series accomplishes as much as Voyager did. Really,
they say this something, don't they, about how she's encountered more
than Jim Kirk.
More first contact than James Kirk, and it's like this is.
Yeah, it's a big new technology and mapping a bit of the Delta Quadrant and learning more about the Borg and
fucked up the Borg as well.
Yeah, and hologram, what they've done with hologram for the technology and the progress of that, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely is. All right, then the one that made us both cry.
Yeah.
Homestead.
Yeah.
Voyager encounters a Talaxian settlement, leaving Neelix with a difficult decision of whether to leave the crew.
Yeah.
Now, I read the synopsis for this on Netflix, whilst it was getting ready to load it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck him, he's gonna fucking leave, isn't he? He's gonna stay wherever this colony is.
Yeah.
The bastard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that there's not a lot to say about it other than it is quite a sad, but it's like a happy sad ending, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, like you say, that bit where they line the corridor to say goodbye to him,
and look, I'm not.
Tuvok does a little dance for him.
Does he?
Yeah. So right at the start of the episode, they're celebrating.
Oh yeah, he does his feet thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, they're celebrating the day that the Vulcans made first contact with humans.
Yeah.
He asks Tuvok to say the famous words that had been said: "Live long and prosper."
Yeah.
And Tuvok derides him a little bit for it because it's a bit silly, and this isn't something that people do. This is something he's made up completely.
Yeah.
But Neelix is playing some music that Zefram Cochrane apparently liked, dancing to it.
Yeah.
Tries to get him to dance as well. He won't. and then at the end he does just a little silly little foot dance.
Yeah.
It's a lovely moment.
It is. It is
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's lovely at the same time. And
I don't like the music in this game is really great, by the way. I don't really like Neelix at the beginning. I don't think a lot of people do, but he really grows on me. I think the Kez thing was sort of shit and a bit creepy. He's just
she was a year old. It's implied that they're in some sort of romantic relationship.
Yeah, he's just sort of a jealous, possessive boyfriend, and she never really seemed all that into him. They should have just been like best friends.
Yeah.
Like outcasts from their respective peoples.
There's quite a few times after that where it's implied that he's quite interested in some sort of sexual relationship.
Yeah.
Like, the planet where they've got telepathy and crimes don't happen because
everybody knows what everybody's thinking. Yeah.
Yes, and so there's this black market culture of criminal thoughts and all that.
Yeah.
Well, in that one, he's thinking about some woman playing with his whiskers. I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Which is it comes across as a somewhat sexual thing,
like
a
Ferengi. What's that called? Umox? Yeah, Umox.
Yeah. So yeah, it comes across so much like that, and then obviously the Klingon woman as well. I'm sure there's a few other people, at least one or two others. He's probably going to get it on with a Talaxian mother.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's really ingratiated himself into that relationship, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, I know some people sort of alluded to, which I really don't like this theory because I think it's horrible. But the idea that he's really interested in the kid. I don't like that. I like Neelix. Leave Neelix alone.
I hadn't really thought about it. My understanding of his interest in the kid is that this is a man who's seen his civilization effectively be destroyed.
Yeah.
And this child is a sign of this isn't over.
Yeah,
this is something that is going to carry. We are not going to die out. That's how I read it.
Yeah. How long have we been going?
I don't know. About an hour.
About an hour. Well, you've still got some Star Trek stuff, and I've got one more topic to do. So let's do another mission.
Yeah, it was like I say, it was a sad episode, but like a happy sad episode. I didn't want. I said to myself, I can't believe I'm actually crying to Star Trek.
Oh, I've cried to Star. Yeah, I cried to The Inner Light. That music always makes me feel a bit emotional.
Yeah, it's I'm sure if I do end up watching Enterprise, I'll probably get a little emotional at the theme music because I used to really.
It's been a long road. Getting
like
from there to here. It is
the video for it just works, I feel
they just make you proud to be human.
Once. There's so few reasons these days.
I know, right?
Okay. Next to last episode, which should have been the episode before, really. They should have swapped these previous two over, I think.
Yeah.
Renaissance Man. The Doctor is forced to help aliens steal Voyager's warp core.
Do
you know much about that one?
I don't remember it much.
Basically, the Doctor and Janeway are on a away mission.
Yeah.
The aliens are blackmailing him or coercing him to impersonate Janeway and jettison the warp core.
Yeah.
And then he ends up having to knock out a bunch of different crew members and impersonate them so that he can cover his tracks. And it turns out that he's subtly used some music that he played to leave a clue to the actual crew because he can normally play it well or perfectly, but he's screwed it up a little bit. There's this bit where he's knocking out. He knocks out Chakotay and he stuffs him in a morgue thing. And it's something about it is so fucking slapstick.
Yeah, I mean, I love Janeway, and I like Tuvok and Neelix, but the Doctor really is the standout of that series. He's very good.
He has a lot of moments.
Mm.
Yeah. And then we get to the finale.
Mm.
And Janeway, from 23 years in the future,
Yeah.
or however long it is, goes back in time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
A woman who said that she would do everything she could to avoid time travel.
Yeah.
Goes back in time to get Voyager home quicker because a lot of people die on the way. I think she loses 20 odd, 30 odd crew members between that point and getting home, she says. And so they use. They use a Borg transwarp hub to get home. In the process, they fuck up the Borg a bit, destroy the hub, end up taking shelter inside a Borg cube for a while, and then blowing it up from the inside.
Yeah.
And I thought they smelled bad
On the outside.
Now that mission that they do there, that is the first mission in the Voyager Elite Force 2. Is you basically do some stuff on the Borg sphere that they're in an attempt to make it so they can blow it up. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I'm a bit bugged by the fact that we don't have anyone try and fix it from the temporal agency or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fine.
I gave it a pass, I guess. I mean, I think the Borg is overused in general. And I don't mind them being used in Voyager, because I mean, the implication in their first episode is that this is just some incredibly powerful alien species that is somewhere in the universe. Could be fucking anywhere. Fuck it, put it in the Delta Quadrant. It ups the stakes. So I wish that and Species 8472 or whatever they're called were they have a brief war, and I sort of wish that was the backdrop to the bulk of the series, to be honest.
This war between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of yeah, we're starting a cult, by the way.
Why not?
I like the idea of Voyager being trapped in this hostile environment and sort of sneaking around as two giants fight each other. Yeah, that just appeals to me as a concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
See, I was expecting the Borg to be more prominent going into it. I have seen bits of Voyager prior to having played the game or around playing the game, but the majority of my experience is the game. Right, it's as simple as that. Before I actually started watching the series properly, that was it. That's the majority of my experience. Which is fine because there's nothing wrong with that. But the Borg are sort of. You've got the Borg and 8472 thing going on. You've got the alternate the Terran Empire and the Klingons and some Hirogen and some Radon working together to sort of collaborate. You've got a game-specific species called the Etherians, which makes sense. And then you've got like a robot-controlled ship with robot drones and all that kind of shit going on as well. And that's the main episodes, like things that they encounter in this area, other than the big bad responsible for everything villain. And because the Borg are such a what's the word? How can I put it? They're like the halfway point in the game.
Yeah.
You cut out.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can now.
Yeah.
So because they're the halfway point in the game, I sort of thought of that something about the halfway point seems more important. You get your halfway point and you get your end point, and they're the two biggest parts of it, I would say, as a rule.
That. Yeah.
But I don't know. You said a lot without really giving me much confidence you're actually listening.
I am listening. I just wanted to make sure you could hear me.
Well, yeah, but you know.
No,
yeah,
I
Voyager.
am. Yeah, I was listening to you. Yeah.
Voyager, that's it. I've done it. I need to find something else to watch. I'm gonna give it a little while. I might play some games for a while instead.
Well, I'm going to repeat what I said before and say watch TNG.
Yeah, I
it's
probably won't.
Fucking. Oh, okay.
There's so much shit I want to watch.
Yeah.
You know. And it struck me that the only reason why I actually started watching Voyager was because of my ear problem.
Why? Why?
Because I wasn't really able to get into a game properly whilst it was hurting like it was.
Yeah.
But laying there and just watching some telly.
Yeah.
Was quite manageable.
Yeah. All right.
And so I started watching telly. It isn't something I normally do. Like I'll watch something like Doctor Who, which starts this weekend. I'm expecting you ready for about 7:45.
Yeah.
So assuming you're watching it live.
I will be watching it as is tradition when I'm meant to, not a moment before.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll watch it like that, but I won't necessarily watch a lot of anything else.
Yeah.
I don't like putting stuff on in the background to watch. I don't like putting TV on in the background. I'd rather just be focused on something. So you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Interesting bit of Star Wars news today.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the original 1977 cut of A New Hope, or not really called A New Hope, is going to be being screened in June in London.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's
not something that people get to see very often.
Yeah, George Lucas is very much against that. I had seen that, but I hadn't really given it much thought because I assumed it was just A New Hope as we know it.
No, apparently it's the 1977 cut of it. Original cut is what I'd read. Let me double check. Because, like I say, it's a bigger deal than it seems.
Yeah, because George Lucas famously is not fond of yeah. No.
Where is it? I know it'd be here. Let's go with Star Wars. Original 1977 Star Wars film to be screened by BFI. the original 1977 cinematic release of Star Wars.
Quite something, yeah.
Oh yeah. You think they'd have left it another couple of years?
Well, I don't know.
For the 50th
anniversary. There's money to be made in this. So this is a side thing we do where we ruin lives.
Oh, okay.
Because Crypto's a prick.
Crypto's an absolute fucking nightmare. I don't get involved in crypto if I can help it.
Yeah.
I've only got one topic left.
But yeah.
I think you've got one left as well. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on then.
Well.
What are the odds? It's the same one.
It's definitely not.
Okay.
My uni friend who you met, he's getting married.
Did I meet them?
Yeah, but that was before they transitioned.
I don't remember this. Carry on.
Yeah. Well, yes, they're getting married next September.
Oh, okay. Congrats to them.
So I've been invited.
Ooh, have fun.
They're very good about it because I know what I'm like, and they know I don't necessarily like
people.
Yeah, things like that. Right, let's see how we can ruin this lady's life.
Oh my. Because you're a whore.
Right, come on, let's go to the hippie gathering in the park.
At Ginsberg Heights?
Yeah.
What did it say? Named after Ruth Bader, do you think?
Allen Ginsberg, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, it'd work.
Right, I'm going to need a new disguise.
So yes, after a wedding then.
Well, yeah, they have said there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever on me to attend, which I'm very thankful for. But I may well go because I wanted to support them, you know, in Birmingham. So yeah, we'll see. I've got a good amount of time to think about it. All right, come on, Verity, let's ruin your life.
Well, my one's not a happy topic.
All right.
Did you see the legal situation
What legal
for
situation?
a particular comedian?
No. Oh, yeah.
Russell Brand.
He's been
Russell Brand has been charged
charged
with
with rape.
sexual assault, and indecent assault.
Uh,
And quite frankly, I hope they throw the bookie book at him.
yes, you. Oh God, is that the note we're going to end on? Well, no, it's not. We have to guess for next week, don't we?
We do. Oh shit, yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that silly little joke. It's not even mine. I saw someone else put it, and I nicked it.
Okay. I guess the Pope will die.
All right. You're gonna do that until he does.
Yeah.
Pope will die. Brackets or else.
I think.
What was the thing you were saying before? About
Big Brother.
Yeah, Big Brother, Mickey Rourke.
I think he will get kicked out.
Mickey Rourke.
Or voted off.
Out. BB.
I think something will kick off with the war in Ukraine. Will be a development.
Okay. Ukraine war development. That's very vague.
Yeah, yes.
We'll no doubt we'll have to negotiate on whatever thing happens counts as a development.
Yes, of reasonable significance. And
we'll discuss it properly next week when it has or hasn't happened.
There will be a school shooting in America.
A school shooting?
Yeah.
Okay, not just a shooting.
No, a school shooting.
Okay.
And
USA. Yep.
And my last one. Nigel Farage will be in the news for something he has said. That is
in the news. Somebody said today.
Okay. Nigel Farage will be at the centre of. Actually, no, I don't want to guess that. And you know what? It served me well last time. A reasonable celebrity death.
Okay. Celeb death. Right then, with that in mind, I'm going to put plane crash.
That's like a free fucking space, man. You can't.
Oh, what? It's like celeb death, isn't it?
All right, fair enough.
So I'm going to put aircraft crash. So you
can't. Yeah.
And this helicopter into the Hudson doesn't count because it's happened today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. Okay, this is quite a niche thing.
Yeah.
I need to find his name because I can't fucking remember his name. No, I need to find his brilliant. I need to find his job title.
Yeah.
There's going to be a announcement as to who is going to stand against Mohammed bin Salman as the FIA president in the election later this year.
FIA?
The FIA, yeah.
What's that then?
That's the Formula One governing body.
Oh, right, okay.
And the reason I'm saying that I think this is going to happen this week, let me just finish writing it. Contender announcement. At the moment, the bloke who's in the job is the only candidate for the next for the job when the election happens.
Yeah.
But there's been a few high-profile departures and resignations and stuff like that recently. Another one today. And they're making a big deal about the fact that apparently there's someone who potentially is looking at going for it, and I think we're going to find out this week. I think it's going to get escalated this week.
Well, I trust your judgment on that score.
Yep. Okay. Next, what are we? When is it? I am going to guess that neither of us would gladly and willingly score the Doctor Who episode higher than a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. It's not the most insane.
That's both. I don't think either of us would be happy to call it a 7 or higher.
Okay.
I think 6 is the absolute limit.
Okay, right.
I remember it's a season opener as well.
I think that's probably reasonable, frankly, but we'll see. I mean, I like the Christmas episode, so who knows?
Yeah, there's potential, isn't there? But I've got a feeling that I'm not going to enjoy it very much. You are the clincher, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to not like it,
Yeah.
which probably doesn't help. But I didn't really get on well with the last season, did I?
No, you didn't. You liked the one about the bird people, and that was it.
Yeah, but that was well done.
And I guess the finale, or parts of it at least.
Can't remember now.
Sutek the Destroyer. Yes. Is that your 5?
No, I've done 3.
Oh, right.
I'm trying to think of some more because funny enough, I hadn't been thinking about it. I should have been, but I hadn't. I'm trying to think of something political. I'm gonna go with another tariff U-turn. So what we've had at the moment is a pause for 90 days or whatever.
See, this happens from time to time. People end up sinking in the. I don't understand that. That's weird. But yeah, tariff U-turn.
Like playing a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
So I think the tariffs are going to be reimposed.
Like a Michael Scott vasectomy. Where he got.
Take your word for it.
He got a vasectomy, then he got it reversed, then he got it done again, and then he got it reversed.
Oh, okay.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah, I think they're going to be the ones that have been, or some of at least.
I'm
going to put partial because I don't think it's going to be all of them.
Yeah.
But I think someone's going to piss him off, or he's going to read something somewhere that may or may not be true, and he's going to be like, you know what, fuck
Uganda.
Tibet.
Yeah.
Goddamn Bhutan.
Yeah.
How dare they? I mean, what have you heard about the penguins?
No.
There's a place that's basically populated by penguins.
Yeah.
And it's got an extra 10% tariff on top or something. It's like, well, it's fucking, what are the penguins shipping?
Leave the penguins alone.
Apparently the argument is that it's to close some sort of loophole, but from what I gather, the loophole doesn't even actually exist.
Oh, who cares?
I don't get it.
Get it done for completion's sake, I suppose.
Well, yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's any big events that are coming up.
Ice cream.
I am going to go one further on your celeb death. I think a soap star.
Well,
or a soap actor / actress is gonna die.
Julie Goodyear ain't looking too good, bless her.
Oh well, it won't be a good year if she does.
No,
it'll do you well on your video.
Yeah, it will. But it's genuinely very sad because her husband posted a picture of her and then removed it because there was backlash. But she looked like a frail old lady just sort of smiling there like she didn't know where she was. And it's like she was so fucking full of life, man. Does she even...
a picture, yeah?
Yeah. Does she...
Okay. She's not Weekend at Bernie's, though,
No. Does she...
No, but are you sure?
I'm sure. Does she even remember she was, like, the biggest fucking thing? It was really sad because she went on Piers Morgan's Life Stories and he asked her whether her current husband is the love of her life. And she was like, no. And then kept cutting to him awkwardly in the audience, just sort of sadly smiling, I guess.
Wow.
But you may well be right.
I think I'm gonna. We've both got our gimme, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think you've probably got a second gimme with the school shooting. To be quite honest with you.
Fingers crossed. I mean, not really. But, I hope I'm wrong.
But I think I'll go one further on the celeb death, and I mean I've won this week.
Yeah.
Because I'm calling it 2.5. Definitely 2.
And got 1. Well, hopefully the Pope dies in a school shooting, and then I'll be quids in, won't I?
A school shooting as part of a resolution to the Ukraine war.
Yes, and Mickey Rourke,
instigated by Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke makes a comment about it, quite presumably not having any information about the outside world, and gets kicked out for cheating.
And then he dies of shame.
Yeah.
And then you've got a clean sweep, full house.
Yeah, that's a bingo. But yes, I think we've gone on for a bit, for a good old while, eh?
Do you like that feature?
Yeah, it's fun enough. Yeah, one of these days we'll hit it really big with something obscure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you next time.
The recording won't go out until after it happens.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye everyone.